Let's take you overseas now to the White House. We're seeing here the US President Joe Biden is speaking. He's hosting a Hannukah reception, a major 8-day celebration for the Jewish community.
I've personally spent countless hours, and I mean it, probably up to 20 hours, with the Qataris and the Egyptians, the Israelis, to secure the freedom of hostages, to get the trucks in, to get the humanitarian aid flowing, to convince them to open the gate, to have El-Sisi make sure he opened the gate into Egypt. And there's a whole range of things going on now that are really very, very difficult. We've gotten more than 100 hostages out, and we're not going to stop till we get every one of them home. And we'll continue to lead the world in humanitarian assistance to innocent Palestinian civilians. We'll emphasize to our friends, to our Israeli friends, we need to protect civilian life. And let me be clear, Hamas using rape, sexual violence, and terrorism and torture of Israeli women and girls is appalling and unforgivable. And you should, when I was there, saw some of the photographs. It's beyond comprehension. We all have to condemn such brutality without equivocation, without exception. I also recognize your hurt from the silence and the fear and for your safety, because the surge of anti-Semitism in the United States of America and around the world is sickening. You know, we see it across our communities in schools and colleges and social media. They surface painful scars from millennia to hate to genocide of the Jewish people. My dad was a righteous Christian, for real. My dad would come home from work. He was a well-read man, never had a chance to go to college. And he'd come home before he closed down the business he didn't own, but he managed to go back and close it. And the kitchen table was, the dinner table was where we had conversation and incidentally ate. My dad taught us about the horror of the Shoah. He talked about why we didn't let the ship in, why we didn't bomb the railroad tracks, and on and on and on. As I said, it awakened in me and my brothers and sisters and our children a sense, and our grandchildren, that this can happen again. Silence is complicity. Silence is complicity. As I said, that's why I've taken all of my children and grandchildren to Dachau and one to Auschwitz. Look, folks, we just met with Holocaust survivors downstairs, including a widow of a dear friend of the late Elie Wiesel, who taught us about the perils of indifference. I think that they experienced only to see what's happening today. It's been clear that our administration stands with them, arm in arm in arm. We're not going to walk away. We're aggressive. We're addressing and implementing the first ever national strategy to combat anti-Semitism, prosecuting hate crimes, addressing anti-Semitism in schools, increasing security around Jewish centers of life, and more. We're calling upon all Americans to make clear there is no place for hate in America against Jews, Muslims, or anybody else. That's why I value Jeb Electric, the Holocaust expert, the first American ambassador-level special envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism around the world. It matters. You know, in this moment, we must hold to the core values that make us Americans: equality, justice, freedom, dignity, respect. Values that, from the inception of our nation, have shaped the culture, the contributions, and the values of Jewish Americans, including all of you, including nearly 300,000 Jews who peacefully rallied on the National Mall last month with enormous pride, unity, even joy in the face of extraordinary pain. You embody what the late Rabbi Jonathan Sacks said: a people's capacity for joy cannot be destroyed itself. It cannot destroy itself. It's indestructible. Let me close with this. You know, after October 7th, a father returned to his kibbutz to salvage what he could from his home. What was left was the rubble and ruin. The home, which he had hidden in with his wife and his daughter for 20 hours before being rescued, a home in the same neighborhood where his beloved son was brutally murdered. Unlike the ancient Hannukah story, buried piles of shattered glass, burned debris, and bullet-riddled walls, he pulled something from the ashes fully intact, a menorah. That's now on display in the foyer of this White House, your house, just outside this room. He gave it to the President of Israel, who lent it to the Ambassador Jack Lew, a symbol of the Jewish people that not only survive, but heal, rebuild, and continue to shining their light on the world. A reminder to hold on to the miracle of hope and faith. Because when we do, no night is so dark we can't find light. No night is so dark we can't find light. No one knows that better than the Jewish people. So ladies and gentlemen, happy Hanukkah and God bless you all.